Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to What She Said. We have a great show for you today, talking about a few different things. Hey, Damon, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. All right. So I hope everybody had a good day yesterday. I finally recovered from Mardi Gras in New Orleans. I think everybody in New Orleans also had to get back to their lives. It usually takes a minute. It takes a minute. We were partying and having a good fun, not ready to stop having fun, but hey, it is what it is. Hey, what she said in crew. Hey, Gracie, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so we have a few topics to discuss today. I hope everybody's doing well. So we're gonna get right into it. Yesterday I saw where Ocho was on First Take, and I don't know if y'all know, but Ocho Cinco has been wanting to be on ESPN ever since Shannon got there, or he started with Shannon. I know since Shannon got there, he want to go on ESPN, and he made it. He went yesterday. I watched the conversation he had. I think Shannon was off screen, and they were talking about T. Higgins, and of course it's football. So Ocho is very, very comfortable in a football space, and fans recognize this. He looked great. He looked sharp. Um, and I hope they have him back. I don't know if it was just a one-time thing, but I hope they have him back. The camera loved him, the fans loved him, and he did a good job. And at the McDonald's that he owns, I believe in Liberty City, they actually put the words up, on the golden arches. Ocho was on First Take. Ocho Cinco was on First Take. So congratulations to Ocho. That was a goal of his, something he had been pining for, and he got it. He did well. So hopefully they'll have him back. So congratulations, Ocho. I don't know if any of you saw it. Let me know in the comments if you saw his debut on First Take, or his appearance, his cameo, or whatever. But I was excited for him because this is something Ocho has been wanting for a long time. So congratulations to Ocho. All right. So that was my intro. Now we got a hot topic for you today. It's going to be the last topic, and it involves Anthony Edwards. And 2 weeks ago, an article popped up in my phone, and the title, now mind you, this article was printed it wasn't printed, but it was published in October, right? But for whatever reason, 2 weeks ago, it popped up in my phone. And the title was all about NBA star Anthony Edwards' alleged kids. So what piqued my interest was alleged and kids in plural. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, he has children and none of them are his. I'm not sure what's going on, but we're going to get into it. Again, this article was from October. Things have transpired. It is now February. A motion was filed in court. So get ready. Make sure you have a good opinion. Remember, this is a conversation. We don't attack the person. We're talking about a topic, and, feel free to let, your opinions be known. All right. But before that, we want to get into our guy, Shedeur Sanders. So yesterday, myself and a few other content creators were pointing out the fact that there seems to be some media analysts conspiring to try to degrade Shedeur Sanders' draft stock. And once the media were not successful, it seems to have elevated while doing the combine to this one particular coach. Now, like I said, over 85-90% of people who interacted with Shedeur, interviewed him, talks about how he's mature, he's wise, he's a great guy, essentially, right? And we talked about the motivation behind trying to degrade Shedeur Sanders' stock. Is not just because he's a Sanders, it's also trying to change who gets drafted in the first round, trying to see if he gets knocked down to number 21 to the Pittsburgh Steelers, was something I actually read, which was ridiculous because even people who truly don't know Shedeur, or, really feel some type of way about Coach Prime, have actually said he's not going to be there past number 6, which is the Raiders, right? And today I got wind of the fact through a comment that Caleb Williams himself was sacked 65 times in his first year. Now, y'all know I have a theory about these young quarterbacks that start and get treated this way. That there's a faction of the NFL, one, that don't want quarterbacks rising to become the majority of the quarterbacks in the league. And two, that same faction or some additional people do not want these young quarterbacks coming in starting. They want them benched for a year. Pretty much the scenario we saw with Michael Penix Jr. until the Falcons got themselves in trouble and Michael Penix Jr. had to come and try to rescue them, put on his cape, and try to save the season. And I said yesterday, the Falcons have since named Michael Penix Jr. as a starter. I also stated that Jaden Daniels is one that got through. But I pointed out Bryce Young sacked 62 times. Now Caleb 65 times. Y'all know how Justin Fields was treated in Chicago. It seems that these teams would rather just rifle through talent and not actually fix the organization itself. And when Caleb was at USC, his father really and truly did not want him coming out and going into the draft because he did not want him going to an organization that has failed numerous players, Justin Fields included. And I also shared how I felt that there is pressure on Mike Tomlin to get rid of both Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, all for optics. And also, too, this is a numbers game. Remember, this is the year that the top three black quarterbacks who are also black also become the majority in the NFL when it comes to quarterbacks. And there's a lot of people who have an issue with this. You can look at what's going on in our country and understand that the NFL is not immune to this. So it's not outside the question to ask, are there O-line players conspiring with whom? Management, executives, scouts, somebody themselves, to allow young NFL quarterbacks to get hurt? That's a valid question at this point. The way Shedeur is being torn down and defamed, and people are coming out and standing up for him against these defamatory comments from an anonymous source, it begs the question, so is this what's going on? Is this what happened to Bryce Young? They were trying to break him. Is that why C.J. Stroud, O-line, suddenly didn't know how to play football this year? Because, they don't want him to get to that point. Jaden Daniels got through. He's not going to be the last person. Is that why Caleb Williams was sacked 62 times? One comment I saw today said, who's going to be sacked more, Caleb Williams or Shedeur Sanders? I want y'all to know, we know how to get kerosene. In other words, there will be hell to be dealt with if you think you're going to conspire against Shedeur Sanders this way, and we just going to sit here as fans and just watch it. We didn't like it at Colorado, but since we see how he's being treated before he even gets to the NFL, if his O-line suddenly does not know how to perform, I do believe there will be hell to be dealt with. Believe me, people are not going to just sit back, because they're not sitting back right now. They're actually talking about, the reasoning behind why Shedeur Sanders is being attacked, because he's young, black, wealthy, educated. There is on Instagram, Well-Off Media page, an old interview with Tiger Woods, very young man at the time, was being interviewed by an older white gentleman who clearly was asking him about golf. It could have been his first Masters. Go watch it. It's on Well-Off Media. And Tiger said he knew he could win. And immediately the guy said he was being cocky, when in fact he was being confident. And I'm sure it was posted on Well-Off Media because they were pointing out the fact that this type of tearing down and breaking of confidence is what they're trying to do to Shedeur. But they're going to be out of luck, because Shedeur is not Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is a nice guy, but unfortunately they got to him. And the world that he played golf in, he was outnumbered. As a young kid, maybe 13 or 14, in a parking lot at a golf event, he talked about how black people were treated and how black people were being held back. And as he got older, they worked him. They worked on him. And in my opinion, they ruined him. They ruined him and his career. So Shedeur is not outnumbered. The NFL is majority black. So we don't have to worry about Shedeur being the only black person around a sea of non-black people trying to tear down his confidence, because that's what happened ultimately to Tiger Woods. All right, y'all. Hey, Darlene, welcome. So, essentially you have a lot of people getting together, trying to, you know, make sure that Shedeur Sanders is okay. And, content creators independently of themselves. I haven't talked to anybody, but we all seem to be on the same wave with recognizing that there's a faction of people trying to tear down Shedeur Sanders, just like they tried to tear down Lamar Jackson, just like they tried to tear down Jalen Hurts. And if you notice, they never go back to these conversations that they have about these people. It's like they just move on from one incident of trying to break a young black man to another one. And it just keeps going and going and going. And when they can't use the media, you have a coach who thinks he's wielding some influence, and then you have, players, I don't know how they deal with this in the locker room. I know a lot of people felt like Lamar Jackson was snubbed from the MVP. So I don't know how they feel about it in the locker room. Maybe they don't talk about it, but content creators and fans have something to say. They have something to say. A lot of people didn't want Shedeur to go to the Giants because we didn't want them to kill his career. Because why? Because why? So essentially, that's where we are. I see a lot of content creators focusing on putting out the good about Shedeur, pointing out his good qualities to try to combat the negative, and just more of the same. But what we see is what we see here. Shedeur Sanders doing what? Continuing on his path, continuing with his workout, as it should be. So I'm happy to see that. Hey, Kiel, welcome, 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 welcome. So we were just talking about Shedeur Sanders and, how this barrage of negativity, people are saying, oh, he's going to drop in the draft. I saw fans clapping back and essentially saying, oh, so what? Is he going to go from 1 to 4 or 4 to 6? That's not dropping in the draft. That's about exactly where he probably should be. And in terms of, O-linemen getting together, working with outside forces to conspire against Shedeur and make sure he's sacked, if not 65 times like Caleb Williams, but more. I don't see that happening with the Raiders organization because of who's there. And to me, that's why it's critical on where he goes. I hear where some people are reporting that, Cam Ward goes to Tennessee. That's where they think he should end up. And I feel the same way about both of these guys. I told y'all my theory that there are forces conspiring to try to halt the progress of these young quarterbacks coming in and starting. And most of them are what? Black quarterbacks. So Crowley said, hello, what she said. Please keep spreading the knowledge about my favorite quarterback, Shedeur Sanders. I'm glad to see many of us are speaking up. We are not having it. No, we're not having it at all. We're not having it at all. And I just want, these little so-called fans to understand, if you think it's funny to make a joke about Caleb Williams being sacked 65 times and you think you're going to put a pin on Shedeur Sanders' head, okay, you're going to learn. You're going to learn. We don't play about Shedeur Sanders. We didn't play about Simone Biles. We don't play about Shedeur Sanders. So prepare for the same backlash, because we see that it will be nothing but a setup. And it would basically reveal the fact that this is what you've been doing to young black quarterbacks like Bryce Young, Justin Fields, CJ Stroud, Caleb Williams, trying to destroy their careers because you too afraid that they're going to come in and win, which goes against your entire trope that black men can't lead football teams. So anyway, so that's that. So the video with Tiger Woods is on Well Off Media's Instagram page. Go look at it. Obviously, I can't post it here because it's copyright, but it's worth looking at, because when the gentleman said that Tiger was being cocky, you could see the fear in his face. He basically asked me if he thought he could win, and he said, yes, I could win. And he said, oh, you're really being cocky there. And y'all saw, if you don't know how Tiger Woods was treated at his first Masters, go back and look it up. That's the one thing about social media. Everything is out there. And speaking of how long things last on social media, we're getting ready to turn our attention to this cute little baby. Paternity was proven in December that this little baby girl named Aubrey Summers Howard is actually the daughter of Anthony Edwards, who plays in the NBA. Now, Anthony Edwards is 23 and essentially has, let me get it right. Anthony Edwards has 4 children about the age of 5 or younger with 4 different women. Okay. Now, 2 weeks ago, this story entitled, let's see. This story was entitled All About NBA Star Anthony Edwards and Alleged Kids. Now, this story was posted in October. I believe the baby was born in October, but paternity was not established until December. So it's established. Anthony Edwards had to submit DNA, and so did the mother, and the baby girl is his. She looked like him right there. And she's a cutie pie. She's like 4 months now. But here's the sad part about this situation. And I've been hearing about this today and looking at comments and trying to understand people's rationale of feeling sorry for Anthony Edwards. I'm like, Anthony Edwards has 4 children by 4 different women, but he's only mad at the last one. I'm like, so now why is he mad at baby mama number 4? He's not married to any of these women. Fun fact, all of the kids that were named by all 4 different women, all names start with an A. So like Aubrey and any other names that you could come up with an A. And they're not friends. It's not like he got a group of friends pregnant. These are women who are all independent of each other. So, but he's mad at the last one. And I'm trying to figure out, why are y'all talking about this woman trapped this man? And he already has proven that he's clearly not capable of making good decisions because he has 3 other children by 3 different women, and none of the children are 5 or older. So that's just bam, 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 bam. That's called sticking and moving. So now that you on baby mama number 4, you mad with her? Who should we be upset with here? The one who couldn't walk away from the situation? And baby mama number 4 turns out to be the first baby mama of the rapper Lil Baby. And I'm thinking, Anthony Edwards is from Atlanta. And so is Lil Baby. And Atlanta's not a very big place. It's a small place. So in fact, he had to know who she was. And yes, she's considerably older. And I saw the text messages she posted. He knew back in 2022 exactly who she was and that she was older than him. And he didn't care, texting her at 5 a.m, asking her, where you at? So that's in 2022. They have a baby in 2024. And now a motion has been filed in court for him to basically disown his child. That's not cool, bro. That's not cool, because the proper thing to do was to just abstain, walk away, or wrap it up. But now that the baby's here and it's determined to be yours, the most that's going to come up for him is financial support. And he's wanting to fight on if he should pay child support in California or child support in Georgia. It really doesn't matter, because it sounds like you brought a human being into this world and you want to walk away from it after you have 3 other children by 3 other women. So when this little girl gets older, she's going to want to know why her daddy rejected her and not these other kids out here. Bad enough, she going to know that she got 3 other siblings with 3 different mothers. So why all of a sudden on baby mama number 4, he's willing to just walk away and disown this child? That can't be good for sponsorships. Adidas, I can't imagine Adidas is happy with that. Because it's not like you didn't know that the woman you've been chasing since 2022 could get pregnant. She already has a child. And you know who she has a child with, Lil Baby. You from Atlanta. And these people out here disowning these children. When these children grow up, you can sign away your, I don't want to visit her and I don't want to have custody with her. She's going to hear about that. Because the internet, this stuff is permanent. And when she gets older, those other 3 kids, depending on the kind of mothers that they have, they're going to know she's the only daughter that's rejected. And pray tell, if she's browner than the other ones who might be lighter, that's going to be a problem. And you're going to have a little girl out here in this world fending for herself because why? You emotional because you don't want to take the L after you decide to lay in a bed and make a baby? That's not cool, bro. And people are talking about he don't want to be the face of the NBA. Why would the NBA even want that? Why? Because athleticism does not trump parental responsibility at all. You don't have a child out here in this world and just out here fending for herself, and she's a set of siblings with 3 different other women, and this is the one that you reject. You're gonna have to explain that. It's not like you giving her up for adoption and she don't know who her parents are at all. She's gonna know who you are. She's gonna know you have 3 other kids that you did not reject. So we don't care about the little girl. We didn't care to wrap it up. We didn't care to walk away. And we don't care about the person we brought into this world that we just want to just have out here feeling rejected for the rest of her life. That's not cool, bro. And the people around him ought to be ashamed of themselves to, on his behalf, go to court and file a motion to say, I don't want to see the baby. I don't want to have nothing to do with it. Well, you should have thought about that before you laid in that bed and made it. You've been chasing that woman since 2022. But now that you on baby mama number 4, it's a problem. It should have been a problem at baby mama number 1 because you ain't married to none of them. Hurt people. And you got a little girl out here that you willing to say, I don't want to have nothing to do with because you mad at who? You should be mad at you. That's not cool, bro. And that's not cool for the NBA to even consider that he could be the face of the league. That is not the type of character you want as the face of the league. Somebody willing to shrink their responsibility rather than be proactive and wrap it up or just walk away. It's not like you didn't know who this woman was. Like, that's not cool, bro, at all. You're going to have to explain to that little girl why out of the 4 children you have right now with 4 different women, all under the age of 5, why you rejected her. It's not cool, bro. It's not cool. I remember I have friends who told me how they were riding the bus to school. And one of the kids on their bus turned out to be their sister. Because the daddy was creeping down the street with the lady down the street, but he didn't want to claim that family. And now they're embarrassed. That's what happens to kids when they get older. These kids talk. For what? Because you mad? You take that L, bro. You don't put that L on that kid and she don't know who her father is. Oh, I'm sorry. She don't know who her father is because the internet gonna tell her. And the first moment she get old enough to go to school and people start talking about basketball, somebody gonna tell her, you know, your daddy is Anthony Edwards. And she gonna feel rejected. Because why? Because you put yourself before you put this child. The time to make the proper decision was before you decided to lay there. You learned in high school. If you have sex, you can produce a child. So I know you know that. This ain't cool, bro. Just because you got the money to write a check, you don't just dispose of no child that way. And if you mad that this woman wanted to have a baby, then guess what? You could have been proactive and not been with her in that manner or protected yourself and the child wouldn't have came of it. I mean, condoms don't even cost $9 these days. That's probably the one thing inflation ain't hit. It's not cool at all. And the people around you allowing you to do this, they're not helping you. You're going to end up just like Kanye. Out here karma just hitting you all upside the head. When all you had to do was be proactive and make an adult decision. You've been chasing this woman since 2022, and now that she have your baby, oh, okay, well, I don't want to have nothing to do with the kid. You don't hurt a kid like that. That's poor character. As if having 4 baby mamas under the age of 23 with 4 different women, 4 different kids wasn't embarrassing enough. Karma does not expire. And it will always know your address. And when that kid get older, you better hope them other 3 kids take care of you. I'm like, I don't know how you don't know you're a walking lick. I don't know how you men don't even understand that all of these rapper baby mamas moving on to athletes. What, y'all didn't get the memo? I can see it. Everybody else can see it. Rappers don't have long guaranteed paper like that. So they coming y'all way. Why? Because y'all sliding in their DMs. See, it's all well and good as long as you sticking and moving. But like Kendrick Lamar said, everybody want to be on demon time until they get trapped by a demon. And now you want to dispose of the child. No. You take that L and you raise your daughter. Yeah, I'm upset. I'm upset when I heard about this. Look at this little beautiful baby girl. She didn't ask to be here. The time to make the decision that you don't want to have a kid was before you laid down to have a kid. This is a human life out here. And we want to just sit up here and just dispose of this child this way? It's enough people out here with outside kids, hiding their kids from other people, and they meeting these people when they're adults. I mean, come on now. Karma is a mother. Yes, it is. It does not expire. This is not cool to do this to a baby. This baby did not ask to be here. And if you feel like, well, I don't want a kid, it's too late. You had the opportunity to make that decision and you didn't make it. So hold this L and raise your daughter along with the other 3 kids you got. And hopefully you got a vasectomy. Because if you didn't, baby number 5 and baby mama number 5 should be right around the corner, because the way you've been sticking and moving, it ain't going to be long. 4 children under the age of 5, and he mad at this one. He want to take it out on this child. He had a decision to make. This called poor judgment, immaturity, and arrogance. Oh, I'm going to just write a check and I don't want to see the baby or visit the baby. I wonder how your sponsors going to feel about that. They sell children's clothes. I'm like, everybody trying to take up for him, talking about she 37. She knew what he was doing. He got 3 other kids with 3 different women. He knew exactly what he was doing when he was chasing her down. He knew exactly who she was. You know, there are people out here. I didn't say I feel sorry for the mother. I didn't. I'm not shocked. I know she know what she's doing, but he did too. They both played a game and he lost. Her game that she played last 18 years. She was playing for keeps. He was playing a sticking and moving, and it didn't work out. That's what Kendrick was talking about. Y'all all want to be on demon time till you get trapped by a demon, but you don't turn your back on that baby. You had a decision to make. The optimal time to make that decision was to walk away. And if you have a girlfriend and had 3 other kids on her, you don't love her either. She just ain't left yet. Let another dude with no kids come along with some money and security and watch what happens. So no, this is not about feeling sorry for either adult. This is about a child. This little girl did not ask for this situation. And he did not meet that woman in a one-night stand. There are text messages out there. He chased her down. He made it clear what he wanted from her. She gave it to him, and here we are. 2 adults making adult decisions. He better raise that baby. Raise his daughter along with the other 4. Don't cause any more damage in his wake. How you gonna get mad at the 4th baby mama when you got 3 other ones? That don't make no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. I just don't like it because this is a child. And whoever decided to go to court on his behalf and file a motion that says, I don't want custody or visitation, that means he just the hell with it and I ain't looking back. It don't work like that, partner. Because that baby gonna get older. She gonna find you. Y'all gonna be brought together. Before you leave this earth, you gonna feel the abandonment that you trying to put around her neck unnecessarily. You don't live with none of them, but maybe one of them, and you still, the other 3 gonna have questions. They are going to have questions. They know you are their father. You did not give these kids up for adoption. You can't just walk away from a child like that. You can't just pay begrudgingly. And you worried more about what state you paying child support in than the damage that you about to inflict upon a child for abandoning it. Because why? Because she baby number 4? So I'm not defending the mama at all. I'm like, yeah, she knew what she was doing. She get ready to collect child support until she was 55. That's what she do. But is she the first one? No. We just had this conversation weeks ago about who? Jalen Green and Drea. People mad with her. It's funny how they always mad with the woman, but these young men don't have to have these relationships unprotected like that. They sell condoms right up there at the Walgreens. I don't even think they locked up. But these are the choices that they make. I didn't hear Jalen Green fussing about Drea being his mother. I think they still in a relationship. So he just might like older women. He's not the only one. But to abandon a child when you have 4 baby mamas and 4 kids by 4 different women. This shows that your judgment is irrational, it's emotional, impulsive, and you don't stop to think forward. How is this going to affect this child? And it shrieks that I'm not willing to be accountable for my actions because I'm a file a motion in court, which is public and for everybody to see that I'm gonna abandon this baby. That ain't right, bro, at all. So whatever issues you got with the mama, then you work out that with the mama, but you raise your child. And if the other women don't like it, who cares? You ain't married to none of them anyway. It's not like you got a wife and you had a baby on her. And even if you did, y'all just better blend. That's what you do when you have an outside kid. You blend families because these kids gonna get older and they gonna talk. And I don't mean 20 and 30 years old. I mean 7, 8, 9, 10. These kids gonna talk. They talk to each other on social media. And you know where bullying starts? Elementary school. So somebody gonna make sure that your baby girl knows that she was abandoned by you. All for what? Nothing, because you got 4 baby mamas and 4 kids by 4 different women. So what was the reason for abandoning this one? You're gonna need to answer to your child and your sponsors. That's not good character. All right, so that's where we are. We're just gonna take the chance and see what's going on. I can honestly tell you when I started this conversation, I didn't know what was going on. So I saw a picture of the baby, and I guess it just upset me. Like I said, about 2 weeks ago, the article on page 6 popped up in my phone when it said Anthony Edwards and his alleged kids, and I was intrigued because it said alleged and it said kids plural. So I was like, what's going on here, right? And y'all told y'all I wasn't watching much basketball this season. And I read the article and basically I saw where he had 4 different kids back to back. All of these kids are under the age of 5, 4 different women. And the 4th one at the time the article was published, the little girl that you see here, her name is Aubrey Summers. Beautiful little girl. And she's older now, 4 months. She's just beautiful. And she got his whole copy and paste, his face and everything. Paternity is proven. And I don't really care how he feel about the woman he had kids with. They probably never said they loved each other. That's not even what's important. There's a child here. That becomes the priority. That becomes the priority. And you have to take that L. You have to take that L, swallow your pride, and be a father to your child. You don't get just to abandon a human life because I don't know. I got 4 kids and 4 baby mamas instead of 3. That's just irrational. Fresh karma will come from Mr. Edwards. It sure will. It sure will. It sure will. It really will. You know, in situations like this, you can't even support the player because the human being, the player is a human being, and you have to be able to compartmentalize. Yes, he has stellar athleticism, but we're talking about what kind of person is he to abandon a child when you already have 4 different ones by 4 different women. I can't root for you. I can't cheer for you. I'm not paying good money to go watch you play when you shriek off your responsibilities and abandon your children this way. Like, no, I can't root for a person that would treat a baby that way. Absolutely not. It is a beautiful baby. Is the baby the topic? Yep, that's what the baby is. The baby being abandoned is the topic. Hey, Saeed, welcome. This is Anthony Edwards' daughter. Yeah, it is sad for the child. It is sad for the child. The baby didn't ask for this stuff, you know, and growing up with friends and hearing how they were embarrassed to find out that they had a sister down the street their whole life and rode the bus with them, and the daddy was creeping, supposed to be going to work, but he going down the street with the neighbor and produced the child and raised and I mean, you know, adults have to deal with this. Adults have to deal with this. Children, young children have to deal with this. Teenagers have to deal with this. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. There are kids out there who will tell you it is embarrassing for them, for their mother to have 4 kids by 4 different men. So it's equally embarrassing for a man to have 4 kids by 4 different women, and he chooses to publicly abandon one of them. That's hurtful, that's embarrassing, and it's unnecessary. Things that are preventable need to be prevented. It's not like he was forced into the situation. I don't know how these guys haven't figured out that rapper baby mamas are coming their way, but they don't care. Strippers talk about it. I watched 2 strippers sit on Cam Newton's show talk about how athletes are in their DMs full to the max. This is what these dudes choose to do. A week ago on Instagram, they were talking about why is it athletes keep going after the same women, having babies with the same women. All of these women out here, they chasing the same women. And Anthony Edwards choose to have a baby with Lil Baby mama, the first one. All these women out here. He already had 3 other baby mamas. And you add this one to the roster, but this the one you want to cut off. This the baby you want to abandon. No, partner. You gonna hold that L. He may be a great athlete, but common sense isn't common. Life is gonna teach you a very hard lesson. These children, those children, those children gonna ask questions, and they gonna be in somewhere between. See, here's the thing. When kids start going to school or nursery school, maybe at nursery school that they young, but when they get to grade school, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, especially around the 3rd grade, when all the mamas and daddies are dropping their kids off and her daddy is never there, people gonna be whispering, oh, that's Anthony Edwards' little daughter. That's exactly what they're gonna do. That's Anthony Edwards' daughter. People, and she gonna hear that one day. And she gonna ask her mama, where's her dad? And her mama's gonna have to say, he didn't want to have a relationship with you. How you think that's gonna make her feel? Children internalize when they're abandoned. She's gonna think she is the problem, that there's something wrong with her is the reason why he rejected her, because she's going to learn at a very young age she has 3 other siblings that he's willing to say are his. Explain that to a child. Oh, I rejected you. That child is going to internalize that rejection and abandonment. And it's public information. And it's all over the internet. And it's going to be time-stamped and day-stamped. And she's going to be like, what did I do at the age of 4 months old that you would want to cut me off? That you would just only want to write my mama a check, but you wouldn't want to be there to take me to the daddy and daughter dance. Who's she going to go with? I'm sure he grew up around people that grew up without their father. He may have grown up without his father or his mother. So this should be something that he wouldn't want to create for his own child. 23 years old, 4 kids under the age of 5 by 4 different women, and he decides to abandon one of them. Explain why. I'm not cool with that. I'm not cheering for him. I just watched the interview where he was talking about how he could play any sport. And, people were like, lady, you not understanding. He is a multi-sport athlete. That's great, because I can compartmentalize. I can't cheer for you. Why would I sit up here and pay good money to watch a man that I know is choosing to abandon his child because he mad that the mama wanted to have it, but he not mad that the other 3 women wanted to have it, and he got the audacity to call one woman his girlfriend, and he had 3 kids on her. I'm like, chances are that's probably got everything to do with child support. Because when you live with the guy, chances are you're not putting him on child support. We know that this woman is. And I saw an article that said he won a victory in court because the judge said that child support has to be decided in Georgia. I'm like, who cares about that? What, you gonna save a percent? That's what you worried about? Your money? If you was worried about your money, you wouldn't be spraying your seed around like fertilizer. Because you're going to have to pay for 4 kids. Right now, 4 kids for 18 years. And it don't matter what state. You have human beings that you have to love and protect and raise up to be productive citizens. You can't do that if you're not there. Yeah, it's sad for the child. It is very sad for the child. She's going to grow up feeling neglected, abandoned, and seeking attention and affection of some dude that's going to take advantage of her, and she's going to become a statistic. And maybe he'll have some sense when he's a grandfather at the age of 35. But it shouldn't take all of that to do what's right. Hopefully somebody talks some sense into him, because clearly the people around him got their own selfish motivations, because ain't no way in hell I would let you go file something like that, knowing that my children gonna see that. Right, right, Saeed. 4 children so far. So what you cutting off the 4th one for? 4 baby mamas, 4 different kids, but you mad at the last one. Why? Because she putting you on child support? That means the other ones didn't. Or he got to make some kind of arrangement. And the point of it is that also, these arrangements, or me living with the first one so she don't put me on child support, or me, probably maybe fooling around with the second one, or sliding her something here, or sliding the third one something there. I'm only mad with the 4th one, and we know she's the one that got him on child support. And they arguing about what state it's in. I'm like, really? That's what y'all care about right now? Maybe she did move to California and put him on. I don't care about that. I care about, you don't publicly file a motion saying you want to disown your child. You don't want no visitation. You don't want no custody. Oh, okay. So you just gonna disown your child publicly because you that dude. Okay, well, I can't support you. Let's see how the sponsors feel. Nah, I ain't playing with nobody tonight. Not when it comes to kids. See, this is the thing. This the thing right here. I love children. I do. I love children. And my thing is, that little baby didn't ask to be here. Okay? And if you shocked that little baby's mama putting you on child support, what does that say about you? All the women in the world, why you chose her? Because it's little baby mama. And you might listen to his music, so now you want to feel that you somewhat connected to him. That's immature. That means you're not taking none of these kids seriously, that you spraying around here your seed like lawn fertilizer. That ain't cool. Why would that be the face of the NBA? I don't want to see that. Every time I see him, that's what I'm going to see. A man abandoning his child after he done littered about 3 mothers somewhere else. That's irresponsible. And for people defending him, I'm like, I'm not defending the mama, but I'd be damned if I'm going to sit here and go, okay, so you think it's cool to abandon your 4th child when you got 3 somewhere else, and none of them over the age of 5? Sticking and moving. Sticking and moving. That means you don't care about nobody. And it shows. It shows. Because anybody who could be heartless enough to go to court and file a motion that they don't want no visitation, that they don't want no custody, and arguing about what state they're going to pay money in. Bro, if you got 4 kids under the age of 5 and you really trying to keep child support out of the state of California, wrap it up. Wrap it up. Because if baby mama number 5 pop up, then that was all for nothing. They say men who value themselves don't spread their seed around like fertilizer, because they know how valuable their seed is. This tells you he don't have no self-worth. Been chasing this woman since at least 2022. And now he okay with people thinking she was a one-night stand, and that couldn't be further from the truth. He chased her. He from Atlanta. He know who she is. But that's what he had to do. But now, all of a sudden, he want to go ahead out here and abandon the individual, rather than he could have just kept it moving. Kept it moving. It's not like he was forced into it. He didn't just meet her yesterday. Yeah, you don't have no respect for yourself if you out here spreading your seed like fertilizer, and because one woman put you on child support, now you concerned. What? What? So, the baby's cute. I saw another picture of her. She's adorable. And, God bless the woman he having a kid with, because I can't imagine why she want to be dealing with somebody's mentality that is so low in that respect. But I'm pretty sure money might have been a motivating factor. And she an adult and he an adult, and they made adult decisions. Now, both of them need to get together, co-parent, and raise their child. That's what needs to happen. Both of y'all have made y'all grown-up decisions. You put your differences aside and you co-parent and you raise this beautiful baby girl. Don't have her out here feeling like she's a problem and she was abandoned because of something internal with her, thinking she might not be pretty enough, or she might not be light-skinned enough, or maybe she too brown-skinned. I'm gonna tell you, if I ever hear something like that, I'm just telling you, that irks me more than anything. For a child to think it's their fault when adults are problematic. Where's the grandparents? Ain't no telling. It's just no telling. It's just no telling. It's just no telling. I just don't understand how people are trying to have this conversation. They're saying, "Oh, Anthony Edwards don't want to be the face of a candidate." Then why is he even a candidate? What that tells you is they are willing to overlook who this man truly is, his character, because of his athleticism. To me, that always backfires. It always backfires. Eventually, it will backfire. So that's that. That's the beautiful baby. Abandoning the baby, I'm not cool with that at all. I don't think his sponsors will be cool with it. That goes to show you he's not stopping thinking. He's not being forward thinking. He's not thinking about how abandoning his child is going to look to his sponsors who sell children's products. He's not stopping and thinking before he gets involved with these women that if I lay with you unprotected, that I could produce another child. These just the 4 children and 4 different women that we know about. And if he were married, I could see, maybe he's embarrassed because he stepped out on his wife. He's not married. He's probably not married for the same reason he has 4 different baby mamas and 4 different kids. Because it benefits him in his mind financially. He's not thinking about all of these children he's bringing into the world. He's not thinking about that. He's thinking about himself. Self-gratification of his personal self, his flesh. He's not thinking about these children. He's not thinking about those women. I don't know what makes him think the 4th woman out of the whole squad of them, because in one more, he gonna have a whole starting squad. I don't know what makes him think the 4th one is the only one that's in it for the money, because the first one that he's with, let's be honest, any woman that's with a man who has 3 additional kids on him got her own motivations. And I'm sure it has something to do with the lifestyle. It ain't love, because you can't possibly love a person that betrays you that many times. That's not love. That's, I like this lifestyle and I don't want to give up this truck. That's what that is. He don't have no respect for them, and they don't have no respect for themselves. But them kids, they need to do right by those children. Anthony Edwards is a real free agent. Yeah. Saeed said, my first 2 boys are 18 years and 4 days apart. I'm married to my 2nd and 3rd son's mother. Well, at least you decide to begin a family, Saeed. That was admirable of you. Something that, it don't seem like a lot of these young guys, they don't want to get married. They somehow think, oh, I don't want her in my pocket. Wrap it up. It's not hard. In Anthony Edwards' case, he should just go ahead on and start considering a vasectomy if he don't want no more kids. He already 23 with 4 children under the age of 5. And if he mad about this one, chances are he don't want to have no more. So having a vasectomy is a conversation he really needs to have. They don't prevent STDs, but at least out here abandoning more children is something that shouldn't occur. That baby might be the one for him in the long run. Yep, that's what people don't think about. That's why I say, he's not forward thinking. Because you have 4 children out here and you choosing to abandon the one, you're going to get older one day. And if you continually treat people like this, you're not going to have a lot of people in your corner when the money run out. When the money run out, because having children like this, it will eventually run out. Even if it's 200 million, you divide that by half on taxes, then you have 4 children to pay for 18 years. Because like we said, none of these kids are over 5. That's a long way to go. They're going to have to go to college. And what, you going to deny them college? Could you pay their mama child support? No, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. And he gonna find out the hard way. It don't work like that. No, that's for people to say he should be, why he doesn't want to be the face of the NBA. That's not the type of character that you want as the face of the NBA. As long as LeBron was the face of the NBA, married with a family, loving father, that's what you want. If the person is married with a father, married and a father, you want somebody to show that they can be committed and thinking about their careers and raising children, because this is what they've chosen to do. You don't want the face of the NBA to be a person out here spreading their seed like fertilizer and are abandoning children because the mother put them on child support. No. I told y'all, 99% of these people are in it for the game. See, sometimes when people are good at something and they don't have to work at it like a multi-sport athlete, and they can pick and choose where they want to go. Maybe sometimes they pick because I want to play basketball and I want the money that they get. Maybe they're not thinking about how I represent the league. I'm pretty sure they're not thinking about that. They're just thinking about what the money can do for me. And you never know. Maybe he was raised in such a manner that he was raised to be selfish. Who knows? I said hurt people hurt people. He could have been one of those kids that will abandon themselves. Therefore, it means nothing to him. But he's grown now and have chosen to create children of his own. So he needs to act like a responsible father, and not just to one of them or two of them or three of them, to all four of them. What? I'm not surprised, Kiel, because honestly, I said to myself, I saw two sets of text messages. I saw the text messages when the woman who just had the baby, told him that she was pregnant, and it was basically he didn't want her to have it, etc. And when I saw that, as casual as it was, it's not like he had to think about what was going on. It told you that she's more the first person that he wanted to be in that position. And I don't know how it is that you think you doing a good thing by choosing to embrace one of your four children, but it shows that that's not a man of good character. These are children. These are children. I don't care how he feel about the adults. He should want a good co-parenting relationship. So I'm not surprised, Kiel, that there was a fifth one out here and he had something to do with it, it not being here. I'm not surprised at all. Not surprised at all. I just know that the conversation about him being the face of the NBA needs to stop, and he shouldn't even have a choice in the matter. The NBA ought to have higher standards. I get it that they having ratings issues and things of that nature, but at the same time, there have to be some good character players around there that you could put the face of the league on, and not just anybody who's out here clearly not living the life of who's exemplary. This is not who you want your children looking up to. You don't want your children looking up to a man who's spreading his seed like fertilizer and abandoning kids. You don't want that. The NBA shouldn't even want that. That's embarrassing that could even be a possibility. And I heard when it was All-Star Weekend, people were saying he wasn't there because of what he's going through. I'm like, what he's going through? You meant the situation he created? What he's going through? He's going through the situation he created. If anybody else out here is out here littering kids like all over the place, guess where they will be if they lived in Georgia? In child support court, which happens every 30 days in Georgia, and they don't play. So he think he want to pay child support in Georgia. He might have been better off in California. California is lenient. Georgia is not. So his karma might show up in the form of the state of Georgia, but it's going to show up. You can't abandon a baby that way. I have two sons, 33 and 23, and raised them by myself. My 23-year-old attended Morgan State University this junior year. Okay, good. All right, mama. Way to go, Miss Lisa. That sounds good. That sounds really good. Yep, and I know raising two kids by yourself had to be hard. I know it did. People think money makes everything easier. I mean, to an extent, it does, but nobody wants to be a single mother, even if the father passed away. It's still difficult because children have a bond, a relationship, or yearn to have a relationship with their father. I tell you, when these kids start going to school and they see so and so daddy picking them up, they gonna want to know where their father is. That's just how it goes. That starts at a very young age. That's why I said Mr. Anthony Edwards need to move very carefully, and he don't have a whole lot of time to do it because it's already out there on the internet. He needs to clean that up. Establish a co-parenting relationship. Hell, all four of the women and him need to go to therapy so they can all learn how to co-parent together. These are decisions that he made. He's not going through anything. This is something he brought up on himself. Nobody forced him to be with these different women. He had a girlfriend. You can't claim one out of the four and act like you don't have four baby mamas. Even if you don't want custody or visitation, that's still your daughter that you're choosing to abandon. Another bad choice. Talking about the face of the NBA. No. I'll never go see it again. That's just sad. But that's what we put together for today. I started with Ocho being on, I think Ocho has 8 kids. He talks about that. Ocho finally getting what he wanted, his dream of being on First Take. One thing I can say about Ocho, I don't know when he was younger, I can't tell you his situation, but this is a man, his daughter went to Prairie View. He shows up at her events. He seems to make it a point to be a father. I heard he did pick the women he had children with because of their athletic abilities, because he wanted his kids to have athletic abilities. Okay, that as long as he chose to be a father, I don't know. But, it seems like he's someone that chose to be a father and be a responsible father, not just on paper. Some fathers like to pay for things, but don't have an emotional attachment with their children. That's not good either. So being a responsible father means being present and involved. Loving, caring, guiding, disciplining. That's what fathers do. You want to raise your kid. We talk about Coach Prime, and every time I see a situation with these young men, it's just a constant reminder that Coach Prime really did a good job with his son. People might have something to say about, Coach Prime this or that. You cannot take it away that this man has 3 sons. None of them, you don't hear nothing about this baby mama foolishness. Definitely not spraying a seed all over the place like fertilizer. Respectful to people, all 3 of them, Shiloh, Shedeur, and Bucky, help to uplift other people. Are selfless. Bucky, the big brother to everybody. Shiloh, generous, caring for other people, courteous, respectful. And Shedeur, the helper. Helps to develop his receivers, want his players to go to the next level with him. The only quarterback, the only player at the combine who said he wanted the players he played with in college to be with him in the NFL. That's who he wanted to throw to. So it should explain to you why, if you think about it, they trying to tear Shedeur down, right? But they trying to make Anthony Edwards the face of the NBA. Ain't that something? That's the person you don't want as the face of the NBA, and Shedeur is the guy you want as the face of the league. You see how that works when it comes to black men? They want to put the one on the pedestal whose character is something to talk about from now until eternity. But the one that's actually doing what he's supposed to be doing is the one they want to tear down. You see how that works? So if I got to stay up here every day from now to the NFL draft and speak goodness of Shedeur Sanders, I shall do it. And when we get to the league, if they want to start sacking him 60 some odd times, because they did it to Bryce Young, they did it to Caleb Williams, and they want to try to trash his career like they trying to do Justin Fields, or like they trying to hurt CJ Stroud in his sophomore year, and if they try it with Jada Daniels, I'm going to be right here. So now you see the culmination of the conversation, the one they trying to tear down is the one that should be the face of the league. The one that they want to be the face of the NBA is not the one that they should want anybody to be emulated. Nobody. Making Anthony Edwards the face of the NBA is basically saying, oh, it's okay to go ahead around here and spread your seed like fertilizer and abandon one of the 4 children that you have under the age of 5 and not marry none of the women. That's what it's doing. It's making people think that's okay, that's acceptable. It is not. You should want better standards for yourself. You shouldn't have to have anybody else to set the example for you at the age of 23. You went to biology class. You know how this works. It's called lack of self-control, immaturity. Like they say, a young fool just turns into an old fool. That's it. The only thing that changes is the date on the calendar. All right, so we made it to 1 hour. Shout out to Ocho for having his dream realized with being on First Take. Shout out to Shedeur Sanders for not allowing himself to be disrupted by all of the hatred towards him, and more importantly, to understand that it's coming from a place of racial bias, and that's not his fight. Go on and be great. Don't shrink yourself. You're doing well. Keep it up. And for the cute little baby, Aubrey Summers Howard. I think that's her name. Aubrey Summers is what I remember. And Anthony Edwards' daughter, the youngest of 4, and she's adorable. And I just hope and pray that this young man realizes that he can't shirk responsibility when it comes to being a father to all 4 of his children. You can't abandon your youngest child that way because you upset that the mama put you on child support or whatever the reason is. So that's that. All right, y'all. I guess we're going to get ready to get out of here. I told y'all I put together a good show for y'all. I didn't know I was going to let my emotions come out in terms of this baby being abandoned. I heard about that earlier. I didn't like it. I talked about it with several different people, and I read comments and this, that, and the other. So I really thought it was just going to be a matter of fact that this is what it is. But no, it's not. And that's how emotions are. They lurk, they hang out, and they wait for the right opportunity. But in my opinion, it was warranted because this is a child, and no child deserves to be abandoned by their parent, period. All right. So I guess we're going to get out of here, and I'll see y'all another time. I guess tomorrow at 8:30. I will be right here. Immature is the correct terminology. Yep. So thank you, Darlene Thomas, Queen T. Thank you so much. And yes, that is the question. Some people do want Shedeur to beg. He's wealthy, and they having trouble grappling with it. But if you go watch the interview on Well Off Media on Instagram, you can see that they tried to tear down Tiger Woods' confidence. And in the interview where he said he thought he could win what looks like could have been the Masters, and they told him he was being cocky because he was being confident, and that is the same type of breaking of a person's that they want to do to Shedeur, but it's not working. I don't know how old Tiger Woods was then, but Tiger Woods was outnumbered in the sport of golf, so it's like he just succumbed to them breaking his spirit. He didn't start out that way, but unfortunately, as he got older, he succumbed to it. And not Shedeur. It's too many people. Shedeur is not outnumbered, and it's too many people. Times are different. I don't even know if they had social media back then when that Tiger Woods interview was out. I don't think they did. So this is the modern era. So it's not going to go down like they're thinking. Fans have something to say. Content creators are using their platforms, And I told you I'll stand here every day and talk about all of the good things this young man has done rather than be silent while they tear him down. It's not going to happen. And I'm not the only person that feels that way. So thank you, Queen T. Thank you, Lisa Marshall. D. Johnson, Darlene Thomas, Kiel. Thank you. Thank you always, Regina Saeed. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me. Gracie, always. Thank you. Thank you. Jen. Thank you, Jen. I didn't know you were in there. Thank you. Thank you for coming back. Saeed, John. Thank you, John. Thank you so much. Yep, Darlene, take care of the babies. That's what you're supposed to do. Lisa said Coach Prime brought a lady in to speak to the team. She told them that these women do research on the athletes. Yeah, I think somebody's podcast earlier today was trying to say all they talked about was this particular child and this particular baby mama. They didn't ever say, they didn't show the whole picture, that this young man is just making irresponsible decisions, having 4 children, 4 different baby mamas, all under the age of 5. Had they told that part of it, I think people would have realized that he has made some bad choices, and choosing to abandon his 4th child is another bad choice. So just bad decision after bad decision, poor judgment, right? And I think now that the woman he had the baby with posted screenshots of their conversations. She said, he been chasing me since 2022. She finally gave in, she said. And sometimes you have to be proactive and not get yourself into these situations rather than expect people to feel sorry for you and try to get people on your side to make you feel better and tell you what you want to hear, that you got trapped when you went looking for this 4 times. Be real. And that means you're not being honest with yourself. You just want people around you that's going to say, yes, this, yes, Mr. Edwards, that. Okay, keep doing that. And you go watch where you end up. All you got to do, you could have learned from this from other people who are in the league in these exact same situations. So it's arrogance that makes him believe that he's different. I don't know why you would be any different. You a walking lick just like the rest of them. And these athletes, these rapper baby mamas all going towards athletes for baby daddies. Why wouldn't you be one? The 3 women before the 4th one got the same intentions. So I don't know why he think they any special, because they not. They saw the money just like the first one saw the money. The 3rd one saw the money just like the 2nd one. And the 4th one can add too. That's on you not protecting yourself and your seed. That's you not having any value or self-worth. All actions have consequences. All right. So I just want to thank everybody in the chat for hanging out tonight. This was a good one. D-Lay. Thank you, D-Lay. I didn't see you in there. Thank you. Or maybe I did probably early on. I appreciate it. Oh, you say why they hating on the Sanders man? It's not just because he's a Sanders. I think it's because Shedeur is confident. When you go look at the video of Tiger Woods being interviewed about a golf tournament and him saying he could win, and the older white man telling him that he's being cocky, when really he's just being confident. So they don't want Shedeur to be confident. I believe if it were Cam being confident up there, then they would be attacking Cam. But see, Cam is not home free. They have said that this class of quarterbacks is just not it. Isn't he in this class? So why they coming down on Shedeur? He not escaping by. Let's see what team he goes to. Let's see if they bench him. That's not what I want. Do I think he could start? Yes. But when he gets drafted, where he gets drafted, it's not just about the money. It's about the future of your career. Because a few of these teams out here are career killers. Let's be honest about that. And they don't want the players to acknowledge that some of these teams are career killers. They want the players to be okay with the money and just be okay with losing or having their career shortened due to injury, because they keep allowing these young quarterbacks who start in year 1 to get sacked multiple times and excessively. I see what's happening. The NFL ought to like be upset about this because this is their talent. This is their investment. But maybe the teams think they can do whatever they want with the players, and that's a different mentality. And y'all know where it comes from. Which is why these ownership groups are actually a good thing. Again, we're in the modern era. And in the modern era, you don't choose the face of the league because of only his athleticism. You choose him because of his character. And as a black man, you shouldn't be okay with them choosing a young man who is a multi-sport athlete, but then off the field, not of good character and good decision making. No, you want the whole package. And for them not to choose the whole package is essentially showing to everybody, see, this is who they are. That's not who you want representing you. Thank you, Damon. Thank you so much for staying as well. All right, y'all. So I guess that's it. I just wanted to thank everybody and say good night. And I will see y'all on tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for watching. That's what she said. Have a good night, everybody.